Perhaps one of the most famous songs sung during Advent or the days leading up to Christmas is Ave Maria, and the version that tends to be the most popular is Franz Schubert's Ave Maria is perhaps the most popular setting of this text, so let's jump right in. Ellen's dritter gesang, or in English, Ellen's third song, or simply Ave Maria, was written by Schubert in 1825. So, who's Ellen? I'm glad you asked. She's a talk show host who has been on the air since... Oh, that's the wrong one. Ellen Douglas is a character from Walter Scott's poem, The Lady of the Lake. I want to say that she's a main character, but the poem jumps back and forth between many characters from many sides. But then again, she is, in fact, the Lady of the Lake. Next, why is the Ave Maria her third song? Well, in Scott's poem, there are quite a number of songs that depart from the main narrative of the text. These would mostly, if not all, be set by Schubert as part of his Opus 52 song cycle. Throughout The Lady of the Lake, there are quite a few scenes of scuffles, fights, and battles throughout between the different male characters. Go figure. As a point of respite between these episodes are the different songs, and quite often they show points of unity between characters as ways to express different emotions, just like a musical number that breaks any moment of tension today. And no, that's not going to happen today. For example, one of the songs, Hail to the Chief, is a sort of battle cry between the different male warriors as they prepare to plot their rebellion. But this song only breaks out after they had fought one another to see who would get Ellen's hand in marriage. Men, right? Anyways, in the first half of the poem, Ellen eventually sings 3 different songs, but the third one, the Ave Maria, is a bit different in the poem. Now, just to cover the basics, this Ave Maria is not a translation or a reworking of the Roman Catholic prayer. It just happens to start with the same first 2 words. However, it does fall under a tradition that is a devotion to Saint Mary that shows up in literature and history, and it's often called Marianism. Marianism is a devotion to Saint Mary, the Virgin Mother of baby Jesus, that is observed and practiced in different ways all around the world. For some, this devotion involves remembering the apparitions of Saint Mary and the associated miracles, such as La Virgen de Guadalupe or Our Lady of Fatima. For others, the emphasis is more on the miracles attributed to Saint Mary's miraculous interventions. Now, in order not to get too bogged down in this history, for it does encompass many expressions in art and literature, I'm going to highlight 2 examples of this. The first is historical, and I don't know how best to confirm it, so we'll just have to take it at its word. And the second is from a song. This first example comes from a collection of 420 hymns from the 13th century, called the Cantigas de Santa Maria, which were from the Iberian Peninsula, and I'm not going to engage in the dumpster fire of labeling which country or kingdom they came from. Many of these hymns describe Marian miracles, such as miraculous healing and rescue from dangers. More on that in a moment. But also including ones like this. A group of 9 pilgrims entered a tavern and ordered food to eat, for they were on a pilgrimage, as one does. When they received their order of pork chops, they noticed that they were missing one chop. And so someone prayed to Mary to reveal the pork chop, and lo and behold, it bounced around in the chest in which it was hidden. Talk about dinner and a magic show. Then, rather than eat the chop that they had made such a fuss about, as total Karens would, they hung it on a silk cord above an altar to Saint Mary. And just a side note, if I were the one to get that missing piece, I would be really upset that I wouldn't get something to eat that night. But I wasn't there. So that's one kind of miracle. But there are others that will get us closer to Schubert. I haven't forgotten my homeboy now. In a 16th century ensalada, the dance, not the salad, Mateo Flecha, el viejo, or the elder, said a text that described a bunch of sailors who were in a sinking boat. When all hope seemed lost, they prayed to Saint Mary to save them, and then they were saved. The rest of the piece involves them tuning a guitar and singing different devotional songs. So now we get back to the Lady of the Lake. In the middle of the poem, some of the warriors who had been staying with Ellen and her family gear up to go on their way to fight in a rebellion against the king. Now, as the men begin to depart, Ellen sings with the accompaniment of a conveniently located harp-playing bard. Seriously, the bard is there to encourage the songs, but who the hell has a bard sitting around? Well, I guess... Don't forget to subscribe and watch my videos of me playing music for my own entertainment. Anyways, as the men are leaving, Ellen sings, and the men pause to hear the whole thing. And as she sings, she begins her prayer with the famous words, Ave Maria, Hail Mary. After this invocation, the rest of the song has almost nothing to do with the Catholic prayer. Instead, it is a 3-verse long petition for safety, and honestly, it's quite touching, so I'm going to go ahead and read the entire thing. Ave Maria, maiden mild, listen to a maiden's prayer. Thou canst hear, though from the wild, thou canst save amid despair. Safe may we sleep beneath thy care. Though banished, outcast, and reviled, maiden, hear a maiden's prayer. Mother, hear a suppliant child. Ave Maria. Ave Maria, undefiled, the flinty couch we now must share shall seem with down of eider piled, if thy protection hover there. The murky caverns' heavy air shall breathe of balm, if thou hast smiled. Then, maiden, hear a maiden's prayer. Mother, list a suppliant child. Ave Maria. Ave Maria, stainless styled, foul demons of the earth and air, from this their wonted haunt exiled, shall flee before thy presence fair. We bow us to our lot of care. Beneath thy guidance reconciled, hear for a maid a maiden's prayer, and for a father, hear a child. Ave Maria. Now, the rest of the poem describes the battles and the different issues that arise. In fact, Ellen didn't even know that she had been helping out her father's enemy, King James, until the end, when she comes to his palace. We learn that one of the rebels died, but Ellen's father was fine and pardoned. Also, the king granted Ellen a wish, because why not? She ended up getting her beloved pardoned. So, without getting into the convoluted mess that is this poem, let's sum it up like this. Ellen prays to the Virgin Mary, and then her prayer for protection is granted in the end. Now for the music. In 1825, Franz Schubert went on a vacation to the Austrian countryside with some close friends after having been quite physically ill for 2 years, probably from syphilis. Although I can't find direct evidence, it seems that the setting of Lady of the Lake matched up quite well with the natural landscapes he saw around him while on vacation. Hills, mountains, cliffs, and the lake. In fact, in paintings based off the poem, there are often expanses of hills in the background. It is during this time that Schubert sets the songs from the poem to music. Alright, so now I'll just put my analyst hat on for a little bit. Now I'm going to speculate. So according to Schubert scholar Robert Winter, as Schubert's health was worsening, he began to identify himself with being more and more isolated from his family and friends. His illness often gave him bouts of depression and hopelessness. During this vacation, Schubert was able to get away from those thoughts and was able to compose more music and even perform a fair bit. I can't say that these were the reasons why Schubert began to set music to the poem of the Lady of the Lake, but it's hard to ignore the similar circumstances. Ellen was in a powerful family that was exiled because of her father, and as she was exiled, she tried to live her best life by singing and tending to her loved ones and even strangers. In her prayer to Saint Mary, she pleaded for deliverance from her current shambles, and in the end she was granted that. It almost feels like Schubert related to Ellen's situation as he was composing this music. Now I'll take this hat off and continue with the story. One of Schubert's friends there, baritone singer Johann Michael Vogel, was probably the first to sing this song. In fact, during this vacation, Vogel and Schubert performed many songs that were specified for women. I wonder if this was done with falsetto or just down the octave. I do find that baritones or people with deep voices often make good countertenors. Either way, Schubert was obsessed, saying, "The manner in which Vogel sings, and the way I accompany as though we were one at such a moment, is something quite new and unheard of for these people." That's quite the bromance there. Psst, there's quite a bit of evidence that Schubert was bi. When looking at the grand scheme of things in Schubert's life, this song was just another song that he wrote. He had some more successful and famous ones from his lifetime, such as the Erlkönig, which received multiple performances by some notable people for some time. So this brings up a question. Why is this Ave Maria so famous now? I don't have a certain answer, but I do have some ideas. First, the opening of the song sounds like a call that just invites someone to listen. Of course, it's a call to Mary, but it's also a call to the warriors in the poem, and in a sense, it's a call for any audience member listening to this song. On top of the sustained notes, the piano is playing repeated chords that resemble the sound of plucking strings on a harp, as that bard was supposed to have done. Second, of course, is the imagery from the Marian tradition. It begins with Ave Maria, such an important phrase from Christian tradition that sort of goes back to the Bible. In addition to that, it is a phrase that is uttered in many different circumstances today. This phrase has inspired people to rewrite the song to incorporate the Christian prayer or even other translations of Walter Scott's words. For me, the plea of a young woman as to her mother is so touching, especially since I'm a mama's boy. I mean, in the poem there's never any mention of Ellen's mother, so it seems that the Virgin Mary is her only mother that she can call out to in this poem. Third, and this is me speculating quite a bit, is that this song has a simple accompaniment and a singable melody. The accompaniment is just broken chords that change in the space of a beat or two, about the same rate as many popular songs do today. Moreover, the melody is in the range of an octave, which fits comfortably in, I would arguably say, most people's voice range. As someone who has made quite a living off playing lead sheets, a lead version of this Ave Maria wouldn't be too difficult to follow or to read off the bat. And with that, many types of singers and ensembles can put their own twist on this song today. So let's recap. Franz Schubert wrote music for a song in Walter Scott's Lady of the Lake in 1825. This song begins with the words Ave Maria, and it's a prayer to Saint Mary for protection over Ellen's people. As a result of the song's simplicity and its evocation of the Marian tradition, it has been set, arranged, and performed in many different contexts nowadays. So, what do you think? What's your favorite rendition of Schubert's Ave Maria? Is there a different setting of the Ave Maria prayer that you prefer? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more musical moments.